What's up, y'all? Alex Thompson here, coming at you live with this fourth Sports Talk video. Doing something a little different again this time. Going to be talking about the NBA again instead of the NFL. And then something else we're going to be switching up. I have my friend Bryce on the other side of this camera, and he's going to be kind of asking me some questions during this whole video. Going to be talking like more of a interview type of style. Just want to show off my versatility. We're going to be talking about kind of the NBA MVP this video, and also the NBA Finals, kind of like the different matchups and, you know, who I think is going to make it and kind of the reasons why they're going to make it. So, Bryce, why don't you just start off and ask us a question and get this young video started?
If you could pick anyone to win MVP, your personal choice right now, who would it be?
Oh, my personal choice? Well, my personal choice would be LeBron. I think that dude is a manimal for coming out in his 16th season and still doing all this great stuff. However, you know, he has been injured, so he hasn't been able to perform like some of these other guys. However, I do feel like his absence is missed. You know, the Lakers were 20-14 with LeBron, and now they're 3-7 without him, and they just lost to the worst team in the NBA, to his old team, the Cavaliers, with like no one he played with. So that's who I would pick.
Well, moving on from that, who do you think is going to win the NBA MVP?
Who I think is going to win? For me, it's kind of a tough tie right now. We either got James Harden or Nikola Jokic, the Joker. However, I think the Joker's going to pull it off just because this dude's a center and he's doing so much for his team. He's had a bunch of injuries to his teammates, and he's really put the load on his back.
How would you rank your NBA MVP ladder?
My ladder, I would have James Harden at number 1. I would have LeBron at number 2. I would have Giannis at number 3, and then I'd have my 4th pick would be Anthony Davis. The only reason why I wouldn't include Joker in the ladder is because he's my dark horse, so I'm going to kind of keep him over to the side right now while, you know, the ladder is built, but I'm going to keep Joker kind of in between 2 and 3, you know, maybe even 1 and 2, just because this dude is averaging almost a triple-double. He's getting 19 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 center. Like, that's crazy. Me and Bryce were looking at stats right before this video, and the center in a season with the most assists is 8.6, and that was Wilt Chamberlain. And last year, the Joker tied it with, I believe it was like 6.7. Yeah, he's ranking 3rd right now, and that was last season with 6.7. And he's already beating himself in that. And this dude is only going to get better. He's, I want to say 21, 22, something like that. So he's very young. Expect him to get better. He's a great playmaker in a sense for a center, which is like really never heard before. So that's why I kind of have him off to the side right now.
Why do you rank James Harden above Giannis despite the Bucks beating Houston and Harden having a hard shooting night, and the Bucks being 30-12 versus the Rockets only being 25-18, struggling in the West?
The reason why I would rank James Harden above Giannis is because he's averaging more points right now. He's averaging 34, while Giannis is averaging 26, is what my notes say. So that's one of the reasons. And then also, James Harden just achieved this milestone of 17 straight games of 30 points or more, and this dude's been getting 57 points, 40 points, and multiple 50 points. And I just think that this dude is really trying to defend that MVP he got last year. So that's why I would rank James Harden above Giannis. And he has a better efficiency rating with 29.3%, while Giannis is 29.2%. Even though Giannis is shooting better, I know it's only 0.1%, but that 0.1% can really affect how someone plays, you know, when it comes down to the wire. So that's why I would choose, or I would rank James Harden above Giannis in this instance.
Where would you rank the Joker in your standings?
Oh, I would rank him, oh gosh, that's a good question. I would probably rank the Joker at, well, if we're talking about stats, like the whole Russell Westbrook thing, averaging a triple-double, you know, if he gets those assists up, you know, 3 more assists per game, I would put him at number 1. You know, I'd probably have him at like 1.5 if I could do that. But I'd probably rank him at 2 for right now. Still early on, but, you know, I think he can make a great climb to that number 1 and, you know, bring home the MVP for the Nuggets. And maybe even the championship. Who knows? You'll have to wait and see later in the video.
Well, who do you think does the most for their team and how?
I think it's LeBron. It's either LeBron or Anthony Davis because, the Lakers just lost to the worst team in the NBA, to the Cavs. It's only 6 points, but you can see when LeBron's not out on the court. Like, it really affects how the Lakers play. Like, they almost look confused sometimes, and so I really think they need that veteran champion experience to help them on the floor, kind of direct traffic and be like, I'm going to get 3 guys on me so I can give you this wide open shot instead of just taking contested shots like the whole game. So I probably rank LeBron number 1, Joker number 2, and then Anthony Davis at number 3 for most valuable to their team, just because every time I seem to look at Anthony Davis, he's putting up 37, 16 boards. Last night he just did 46 points, 16 boards. Like, this dude is doing it all for his team. He's really got no one around him to help him out. So, that dude either needs to attract some attention or leave because he's wasting his talent, man. It's hard to watch that sometimes. Obviously, they have Drew Holiday, but that's really the only person I see because DeMarcus Cousins left this past year to the Warriors. So he just has to put the weight on his back, and he's doing it. So, props to him, but I'd probably rank him number 3 for doing most for his team.
If you could pick, who would you want in the NBA Finals this year?
If I could pick? Oh, man. Well, I would put the Lakers just because of LeBron, and versus the Celtics just because, that whole ordeal between LeBron and Kyrie, even though that really wasn't the case, like he got traded. But I think that'd be a good matchup to see, okay, who out of these two is the real champion in a sense? Who would do more for their team? I don't think the Lakers, they're contenders in a sense with LeBron. He's made 8 straight finals. It's hard to top that, but I just don't think the Lakers aren't there yet, man. They're really not there. Celtics could definitely be up there. They got a very deep roster, great coach in Brad Stevens, great players. They got a great team, but I just don't think that's the matchup this year, man. I really want it to be, but I don't think it will be.
What are the NBA Finals going to look like realistically? What 2 teams do you think
What 2 teams? I have 2 matchups for this NBA Finals. Sorry, I keep looking down. That's where my notes are at, so that's why I keep looking down. I got the Nuggets versus the Toronto Raptors, so Denver Nuggets versus Toronto Raptors. Just because the Nuggets, they have a deep roster. They've had this roster for 2 or 3 years now. They got great chemistry with each other. You have an MVP candidate in Nikola Jokic, and the Nuggets have the 4th best opponents points per game, so their defense is pretty stout. So that's some of the reasons why I think the Nuggets are going to go this year. And then for the Raptors, I think you have Kawhi Leonard, who is multiple Defensive Player of the Year, and he can really score. Obviously, these past 2 years, he's really kind of showed out how he can score, in the mid-range, his finishing abilities at the rim, and he's even his three-point range this past year, I feel like. Also with that, they have a bunch of great young guys. Van Vliet, their backup point guard, OG Anunoby. They have a veteran in Serge Ibaka who's been really knocking down threes for them, so he's kind of really worked that three-point into his game. They believe in their process. They really know how, like the Nuggets, they know how to play with each other. They know what each other's abilities are and how to create shots for them. And they also got a great shooter in Danny Green with that Kawhi Leonard trade, so I think that's good. And something else, here's a little bit of fun fact. In the series with the Warriors, the Raptors are 2-0. So that kind of makes me happy. And one time they did it without Kawhi. So that just kind of shows you the versatilities of this Raptor team.
And who would you say would win that matchup between the Raptors and the Nuggets?
Who I'd win this matchup? The Nuggets. Just because I don't think there's a center who can really guard Joker that well for Toronto. And then earlier this year, I was watching the Nuggets and Raptors game in Toronto. The Nuggets won that matchup because the Raptors couldn't hit their shots. And I think that, like I said, the Denver's defense really is stout. And so I really think that the Nuggets could win this in a 7-game series.
And what's the other matchup you have?
The other matchup I had, it would be the Warriors versus the Philadelphia Sixers. The Warriors, for obvious reasons, they're the 2-time defending champs right now. They have 3 to 5 Hall of Famers in Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins, Draymond Green, Iguodala. That team is stacked up, and they've been stacked for a while, so, it wouldn't be surprising to see them in. And also they have the highest offensive rating, so, that just kind of shows that this league is turning into more offense, but, who wouldn't want the best team to have the best offensive rating, in a sense. And for the Sixers, some of the ideas I put for them to win this, they're probably the most upcoming team still. Bunch of young guys, bunch of great playmakers. You got Joel Embiid, you have Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, JJ Redick, who's a veteran who can really kind of knock down threes for them and get hot at any moment. They have great chemistry too. I have heard that Jimmy Butler kind of got into a little exchange with the coach asking about, well, why aren't we doing this for a team? Like, I think this would be better, but, he has caused problems in the past with his other teams, but I think that he's, they turned into a more conversational type of exchange between him and Brett Brown, the coach.
So who do you think would win that matchup between?
I think the Warriors win that matchup just because I don't think the Sixers could really shut down their shooters. They don't really have, Jimmy Butler can't be all over the court. Mm-hmm. Obviously you have a couple very good defensive players who can guard one or two of their shooters, but, you would put Jimmy Butler probably on Klay Thompson. You'd put Joel Embiid on DeMarcus, and then, Ben Simmons would probably be on Draymond Green, and then you'd have JJ Redick on Steph Curry. But either way, one of those two good shooters, Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, they're gonna be open just because they can't, JJ Redick can't really hang defensively with one of those shooters just because he's older in that sense.
So you're saying you project that the Nuggets are gonna win the NBA Finals, and Joker is gonna win MVP?
Yep, that's the best team right now in the West right now, and I just, Toronto's a really good team. I think they have the best record right now in the East and in the league, but they play a lot of East teams, and the East teams, no offense, but aren't very good right now. So I think they're going to get an easy path, and then when they hit that finals against that Western team, that Western team is going to will have competed a lot and really have fought for the wins they have, and I think that some of those series they may have played before might actually be harder than that finals in a sense. So that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button, drop a comment, give me any feedback. I'd love to hear from y'all. I want to grow and improve. Hit that subscribe button too. Talk to y'all later. Peace.